There is just something special about the blessings of tiny seeds. Yes, folks, today is the first day I am going to sow seeds in 2022. As you can see, I set it up on my patio door in my kitchen. And to try and be organized, you could try as best you can, but you're never organized enough when you go to film something. It's just like a cooking video, folks. You think you're organized, but no, you're not. Trying to peek around the camera phone to see if it was clear or not. I could tell it was a bit blurry because I still had it in the plastic bag. So I had to remove it from the plastic bag and then try and show you what I was going to do. Now these seeds that I was showing you in the beginning in the plastic bag are older seeds. And I don't know if they're going to germinate or not, but I thought, why not give it a try? I'm not going to throw them away unless I try. And I'm early enough, so it's fine. And it's leek, so they take forever. Anyhow, the leeks and some bunching onions I decided to try in some of the trays. And my full tray, I put it in. So I have my water in my little sprayer and get some soil in the containers and slowly enjoy putting the soil into the cells of the container for the very first time of this year, because I've been so excited to get gardening. There's the evergreen bunching onions. I love those. I love growing them indoors. I meant to do it all winter long, but I just never got around to fixing up my growing station. So I have this planter that I'm going to use, this container. That's my timer for my bread. I have bread cooking in my toaster oven. It's going to go off again in 5 minutes. I'll show you the bread at the end of this video if I remember. Anyhow, I decided to put my leeks on one half and my bunching onions on the other half of this big long tray. I like to just scatter them around because they can be close together. It doesn't matter for them because you can gently tease the plants apart, as you've seen before in previous videos of other people. It's really no big deal for leeks or bunching onions. They're quite happy. I'm more of a natural gardener, you know. When you have a seed of some sort out in your yard or your garden and it drops its seed on the ground, well, we're not out there packing it down and wetting the soil and doing anything like that. No, nature takes care of it. It rains, it gets wet, it naturally gets patted into the soil and it germinates because it's making contact with the dirt, with the soil. And it's really no big deal. It really isn't. So this year, I'm not doing any packing down. I'm wetting the soil. That'll pack the soil down. I'll put the seeds in, scatter them around. Then I will scatter a little bit of soil, seedling starter mix over the top. Water it down a little bit more, and that'll pack it down. I'm not even going to tap the containers. No, I'm not. I'm going on natural this year. Yes, I am. And hope for the best, because I mean, really, how difficult does this have to be? Let's just plant some seeds and get them going. I'm just so excited for this. I really am. I have it on a little table in front of my patio window in my kitchen. If you look, you'll see some highlighted areas where I describe what's on that shelf that you're probably seeing behind me or in front of me. And here we go. There is my halogen cooker. I've had that for years. I've had that before the Instant Pot. I use it when I have frozen things that I forgot to pull something out the night before, and I pop them in there and it cooks beautifully. And my coffee pot, my Instant Pot, my bread machine. So, continuing on with the sowing of this first 2022 gardening season, my leeks are in. Hopefully they will germinate and come up. I love leek soup. I really do. Leek and potato soup. I have potatoes ordered through the place I order seeds and stuff from. And my bunching onions. Say that quick 5 times. Oh my goodness. I could do a redo on this vocal, but I'm going to leave that in there because that's all natural. And yes. So let's put in the soil, the seed starter mix into the seed tray. Now I did this very slowly because the first time I do this, I wanted to enjoy. Okay, I'm a weirdo. I wanted to enjoy the soil, the seed starter mix, putting it in there. I went really slowly. Well, also I'm frugal, so my tray underneath was a little wet from when I sprayed the first sowing of seeds. So I didn't want to spill any of my seed starter mix into that tray that's below the cell tray. And because, then I'd have to wait for it to dry and get it back in the bag and it'd already be wet, and I didn't want to do that, so I took my time. So I did time lapse there, and and then I slowed it down when I wet it because I was moving the water thing a little fast for your eyeballs. Yeah, so I watered it down, and then then it's time. Oh boy, the fun begins. Let's sow some seeds, why don't we? Yes. I do enjoy a nice pepper. I have yet to, I have to sow my jalapeno peppers next. I'm not going to do that today. I'll probably do it maybe tomorrow or the next day. I may film that and I may not. It all depends. But a lot of these seeds were so tiny, you need a magnifying glass to see them, like the cherry bomb tomato and the Miss Molly's, what do you call it? Miss Molly's ground cherry. That's what I was trying to think of. If it wasn't for a lack of memory, I'd have no memory at all. Anyway, yeah. I do enjoy peppers. I don't like them too very hot, so I'll make a jalapeno jelly out of the jalapeno peppers, and sometimes I'll use them in salsa and stuff like that, But I did enjoy this afternoon, or this morning, it's not afternoon yet, of getting my bread going. There's ground cherry, Miss Molly's, Aunt Molly's ground cherry. I've never tasted that. I've seen that on another gardening channel, Roots and Refuge. Jessica, she loves, or her husband loves that. What does she call him now? Sweet Maya? Yeah. She calls her husband Sweet Maya. And he's building her, by the way, a beautiful greenhouse. Oh my gosh. Envy up the yin-yang. It's going to be gorgeous. Can't wait to watch her in there sowing seeds. But the Monet peppers and the what I'm going to do in between each of these, the tomatoes and the pepper, is I'm going to plant the bunching onions, because I want to have a lot of bunching onions. I'm going to plant more too in another cell or large container, I'm not sure. And I'm going to dot it all around my garden of tomatoes and whatnot, because did you know that they are a deterrent for bugs and critters and whatnot on your plants? Your onions and your garlic also will do it. Yes, indeedy. I start the bread dough off in my bread machine. And the reason I do that is something happens to it when it goes into the baking. Like it's old and it's been through the ringer. But it has a dough setting which takes an hour and a half, And you put all your ingredients in, and it'll mix the dough. It will rest the dough, rise the dough to where it's ready to be shaped and then put into a bread pan. Then, okay, that's telling me the toaster oven's ready. Then I put it in, I put a quarter of a cup of water in a cup in my microwave, and I run it for like 3 minutes to get it boiling. So then I put heat in the microwave doing that. And then I take the cup of water out, and I put my bread that I have shaped and put into the dish that I'm going to bake it in here, and I close the door for 30 minutes for it to rise. It will take an hour, but I put it for the first 30 minutes. And then I set the timer again for 30 minutes because my toaster oven takes 30 minutes to get up to temperature properly to bake my bread. So I have to get it out. All right, there it is. Don't look at the sides of the toaster oven. Just pretend it's clean. So I cover the last 15 minutes of the 30 minutes of cook time with a piece of foil, dull side up, so it doesn't burn because it rises so high. It'll burn inside my toaster oven because it's such a small area. So there's the foil. I need to turn this off. It's hard to do when you look through the screen. Okay, now then I go over here, and this is a baking dish, the oval baking dish I use. I just cut a circle of parchment paper, and I put it inside there, and that's where I put my dough so it doesn't stick. And then it comes out like that. Beautiful. Much bigger than what I can get out of the toaster oven for the same amount of flour. No. Bigger than the bread machine when I cook it like this. Now, it seems like a lot of work, but it isn't. The bread machine does all the work, does all the kneading and resting and rising. And then I just put it in my warmed microwave, turned off, of course, and I let it sit there for 30 minutes. Then, well, total 30 minutes. And then I put it in my toaster oven and cook it for 15 minutes. Then I cover it with the foil. And then I set it for another 15 minutes, and it's cooked. And I let it cool. And it's beautiful. And it's delicious. And it's made with bread flour, not all-purpose flour. It comes out a lot nicer. What I do, so it doesn't go wonky inside my oval dish here, is I take my scissors after I've placed the dough in, before it rises, of course, and I just make slits, 3 slits, and the top, not too deep, you just want like a 1/4 inch slit, and then that'll keep it from rising wonky. Have you ever made bread and one end is raised up really high and the other isn't? Yeah, well, that helps it. It helps it to rise better, more evenly, I should say. So anyway, that's my bread. I don't know if you're interested in hearing about that after sowing my video about sowing seeds, but you know, it is food time and garden, so this is the food section, and the sowing of seeds is the garden section of my channel. Have a great day.